What's up YouTube? Welcome to another video. This is your host Mr. Aslan. Crypto education is my passion, guys. I'm not a financial advisor and this is definitely not financial advice. Well, big things are happening with JEDSTAR. They are going to migrate pretty soon to the Polygon network. Well, tomorrow is the date when the liquidity on the BSC chain will be pulled out. That means you won't be able to actually go ahead and trade on the BSC chain until the migration is completed to Polygon. The next time you have to go ahead and buy JED after October 5th, you'll have to wait till it's available on the Polygon network. Big things happening apart from just the migration. Star staking is also here along with the migration. Pretty awesome, in fact, because I just did some maths which I'm going to do a separate video on in terms of how you would receive your rewards. But let's have a look at the Litepaper that was released just yesterday from the JEDSTAR team. This is mind-blowing in my opinion as far as what I've read in the Litepaper at least. I'm eagerly awaiting the actual complete white paper, but this Litepaper has given a lot of information which I'm pretty much excited about for the coming days. Here is the Litepaper in front of me. Let's have a quick look at what's in store for us, bringing the next billion gamers to Web3. The key milestones, well, these are the ones which have happened in the entire 1 year duration of 120k community. This is the latest addition for JEDSTAR because JEDSTAR now has a gaming guild, JGG as they call it. JEDSTAR will have its own esports team, will also be sponsoring certain tournaments with certain other games like Dota 2, MLBB and many others to come in the future, including the ones from JEDSTAR themselves. Now what this means is that JEDSTAR now has a gaming group to go ahead and start playing their games as and when they are released. Pretty huge in my opinion. 85,500x. Now this is something which is mind-blowing because JED, as we all know it, launched at the token price of 0.301 US dollars, and at the time of recording this video or at the time of writing this Litepaper, it's somewhere in the range of 8 cents. Now make note that the ATH without much of marketing was somewhere around $1.12. If in case it reaches that value, well, you do the math. JEDSTAR does have a license for running casinos and luck-based games. Silvervolt is the starting app wherein you will be having lotteries for a KRED pot, but that's just the beginning. Many more lottery offers would definitely come in, and many other casino-based games or luck-based games is what we can definitely see in the coming days. It might be just in Silvervolt, or we might see those games in Stardome as well. Silvervolt, like I said, it's the first ever utility app that was built, and kudos to the entire team, especially Kayesh, because his onboarding into the team brought this wonderful app into the market. Now with this particular app, I've got multiple videos out and I have also won quite a few auctions, including the Razer mouse that I've been using from quite some time. It's just mind-blowing and a gamer's paradise, guys, because all you need to do is just charge your phone, earn volts and use those volts to go ahead and participate in auctions wherein you could win certain hardware or in-game items. For gamers who cannot actually afford many of the in-game items which need to be purchased, this would be a boon to them. Dynamic NFTs or SFTs as they call it. I do have one video on my crypto wisdom playlist. Please do go ahead and check that out. I'll leave the link in the description box as well. By dynamic NFTs in a one-liner, they are NFTs wherein you can actually have the attributes changed by paying a small amount. Mobile games, well, we know that Night Claws is coming out pretty soon, the beta of which we might expect late October. Along with that, we do have other games that are coming out. Ascension is the next game that would be released for the mobile platform, and that is a kingdom builder. Agora Marketplace. This has come out as a surprise to me, especially because I never expected Agora to launch pretty soon. I was somewhere expecting Agora to be mid-November or December time towards the end of the year, but well, we have it right now. Agora 0.9 is out and it's operational. That's where you can actually go ahead and purchase the dynamic NFTs or the SFTs or semi-fungible tokens as they call them. Now the entire high-level summary of JEDSTAR gaming, what this means: by unifying the Web 2 and Web 3 gaming communities and enabling the unbanked, we become the world's largest digital asset marketplace and gaming and crypto in the sideline community. Now their entire strategy is what is laid out in front of you right now. The proprietary customer acquisition and retention tool would be Silvervolt app. The next would be the one of the largest gaming communities. You do have one already available. It's our Telegram group, and guess what? It's a really lively chat. Now you have the revenue streams that are coming out. Like I said, JEDSTAR will also have its own esports team or probably sponsor an existing esports team. That's something that we are yet to see in the coming days. An esports platform, ads and sponsorships, the lottery ticket sales, Agora Marketplace itself, JED and KRED tokens. These will be the revenue streams for the entire ecosystem on a whole. Now when I said collaborations, you do have many other games coming up. These might be just some of them which are listed here for potential partnerships, but these are just a few. Now there are a lot of blockchain games which would be coming out, and there are a lot lot of blockchain gaming projects that are also existing in the space, which in the future we might see some pretty good partnerships. Now the new tokenomics over here with JED and KRED is also given out. One interesting point for me over here is the true burn concept, an innovative and truly deflationary burning mechanism within the smart contract that permanently removes tokens from the total supply. Instead of just going ahead and doing a buyback and sending it to a dead wallet and calling it a burn, the true burn in fact works as actual burning of tokens, wherein those tokens will not be existing in the blockchain itself. Now the contract is designed in such a manner that a percentage of the tokens, which we will see in the coming slides, would be totally burned out. That means they will be totally taken off the entire supply existing itself, not just the circulating supply. Now when it comes to the buyback and burn, that's a regular kind of a traditional burn which we see where percentage of tokens purchased and sent across to the burn wallet or a dead wallet, which ideally will not be used by anyone or no one will have keys to it. 3% of the JEDSTAR net revenue will be bought back every week via KEX or DEX. KEX is a centralized exchanges, DEX is your decentralized swaps after the first $100,000 mark and will be sent to a dead wallet, reducing the circulating supply. Now there is this difference between the actual true burn and the buyback burn. The buyback burn will only result in reducing the circulating supply. However, the true burn will reduce the total existing supply itself. Pretty awesome in my experience, guys, because this particular true burn, if the volume of trade is found to be quite huge in the coming days, can definitely prove to be a game changer in terms of the price action. We'll be here to see. Now we have 4 harmonious and sustainable reward programs. You have star staking, you have star staking lottery, you have liquidity rewards program, and you have the liquidity rewards lottery. Now there are 2 lotteries over here, one for the liquidity pool providers and one for the stakers. Having a look at the KRED tokenomics, we have the launch price, which is considered right now for this particular Litepaper at 5075. The total supply would be 10 trillion. The circulating supply at launch would be 500 million. The market cap at launch would be set to 3.75 million USD, and the fully diluted market cap at launch would be 75 million. Now this fully diluted market cap totally depends on the actual launch price. That depends again on the snapshot when it is taken, what would be the price of KRED. KRED is a deflationary token through our true burn and the buyback and burn mechanisms in-game and marketplace currency. Now when we see the percentage allocations of KRED, mind you that KRED is a special token because the contract itself is designed to be a minting function. You wouldn't have the entire supply of 10 trillion made available immediately upon launch. It will be a minting phase and it will be a duration in which the entire supply would be minted. Added to that, with this particular true burn and the buyback burn, you can definitely expect some pretty good price action in the coming days. Now when I see the percentages as such, the KEX and DEX do have 20% allocated. Advisors and investors will have 5% allocated. 1% would be for the airdrops. This airdrop is for the existing holders on the BSC chain after migration. The dev and marketing wallet will have 4%. The gaming rewards, pretty huge, will be 33%, and the staking rewards pool will constitute 37% of the total supply. The gaming rewards and the staking pool rewards, pretty huge for these percentages because almost more than half the supply is kept as rewards, either in-game or the staking rewards pool or many other reward programs that might come out in the future. Now this particular slide kind of explains on how the actual KRED buys and the KRED utility is built out and how is it that star staking reward program is also going to be benefiting the holders. There are 2 actual splits that you will have to do. One is over this line where it says the minted KRED for KEX and DEX. You have the buys that are happening on the swaps or on the centralized exchanges once it's listed. You have the utility of the token itself, which is in the Agora marketplace, the JEDSTAR games in Stardome, and the JGG tournaments. Now these tournaments can be held across any of the games like Dota 2, it may be MLBB. Now these may not be entirely those games which are part of the JEDSTAR gaming and the Stardome alone. So that's pretty awesome in my opinion because any and every game, name it Call of Duty, PUBG, Age of Empires, any of these tournaments can be organized. Now how will these JGG tournaments actually benefit KRED is first and foremost, it might be the rewards themselves that might be given out in KRED. It might also be certain tournament registrations that have to happen only after you buy a certain amount of KRED, or probably have an NFT which you can buy an Agora marketplace, for which you ideally need KRED again. So some kind of mechanism would definitely be built which would aid. There are a lot many options, although we'll just have to wait and watch on how the mechanism works out. Now all these 3 revenue streams along with Silverbolt add up because Silverbolt, as you all know, will be mining crypto in the backend, which would be utilized to buy both JED and KRED. So a portion of that reward will also be added up to the JEDSTAR gaming treasury, and that again will lead to more revenue generation. Now when it comes to the buyback and burn mechanism itself, you can see the percentages that are put out. That's 0.5% of Silverbolt mining net revenue, 0.5% of Silverbolt ad net revenue. I'll come to the ad net a little later. 0.5% Agora net revenue, that's from the transactions in the Agora marketplace. 0.5% gaming micro transactions net revenue. This might happen in Stardome and the JEDSTAR games themselves, or any other game which would be part of the JEDSTAR ecosystem. 0.5% of Stardome net revenue, 0.5% of gaming tournaments net revenue. Now when I say Silverbolt ad net revenue, for now Silverbolt does not have any ads running, but once the actual app is widespread and adopted, you would definitely see a lot of ad campaigns that would be run on Silverbolt, and those ad campaigns will have to be paid, and those payments would be through KRED, I believe. Having that done, imagine a scenario where a person or a company would like to advertise their product on Silverbolt. Now for doing that or obtaining a slot, they would have to buy this much KRED, and that KRED might also aid for the percentage of burn as well as a percentage of revenue generation for the team itself. And that revenue again can be in turn cycled across many other utilities. Pretty cool in my opinion, because if you look at the actual revenue model out there, it doesn't depend on the holders alone or the community alone. They are building an external revenue system which would sustain the entire ecosystem and also reward the holders for their patience and support for the project. Now when it comes to star staking, how is it that the JED holder would be benefiting from that? Taking into account the minting function of the contract for KRED, you can see that the reward pool will be having a certain amount of tokens that would be minted and sent across every time there is a staking done for JED. So what is that percentage? 32 new KRED will be allocated daily for every one JED stake. Now that 32 is the initial number. After a duration of time, that number keeps decreasing. I'll show you the graph in the coming next slide. Now 87.5% of that amount of KRED generated would be sent to the reward pools, while 12.5% would be totally burned. By burned, it is true burn, not sending it to a dead wallet, but totally taking it off the total supply on the contract itself. Now the rewards pool will also be having contribution towards star staking lottery tickets. Now whenever purchases happen for the star staking lottery tickets, you would also have a percentage of that sent across to the rewards pool. And that rewards pool is what would be utilized for distribution of all the holders who have staked their JED, as well as people who are buying the lottery as well. How is the lottery ticket distribution done? 50% to the SS jackpot, the star staking jackpot, 40% would be going ahead to the star staking rewards pool, and 10% would be going to the burn wallet. Now this burn wallet is the actual burn wallet that's existing, wherein it's just a transfer and acts as a holder but removes the tokens of the circulating supply. Now the star staking jackpot pool is what will feed the jackpot winners, and the star staking rewards pool will be going ahead and distributing rewards to the star staking lottery participants as well. Even if you do not win the jackpot, you do have some amount of benefit in terms of purchasing the lottery tickets. That's pretty cool, because a reward for everyone who is just participating, no matter big or small, a reward is a reward, guys. And I'm very happy with this particular mechanism because no one is left out. Usually what happens in lotteries, people who buy tickets and they win are the ones who would be benefited, whereas those who just bought the tickets and participated, they would not get anything out of it. But here it's a different scenario, which I truly love. Now when it comes to the JED or the DeFi token that's there in the ecosystem, you have the total supply of 1 billion. Now this is ramped up from 100 million. The main reason here being the additional supply of tokens would be utilized for listing on KEX and also providing liquidity for various decentralized swaps. Now when I say the KEX listing, let me just go ahead and clarify this. The increase in supply does not affect your chart, mainly for the factor that your chart only depends on the liquidity provided on that specific particular platform. Say for example, there are 3 different centralized exchanges which have the listing of a specific token. Each will have a separate liquidity pool. So whatever trades happen on these liquidity pools will be dependent on that particular centralized exchange itself. The same goes to the decentralized exchanges or swaps. So you wouldn't have any impact ideally occurring when there are separate liquidity pools provided for these centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. Yes, the total supply and the total fully diluted market cap might change. However, the price of the token will be unaffected because each liquidity pool will be trying to balance itself in terms of the automated market makers in the decentralized exchanges, also the ledgers, all the ledger books that are maintained by the centralized exchanges. This ensures that the price is same across the entire decentralized exchanges and the centralized exchanges. Although you might see a slight variation, that's where arbitrage always occurs. That's how the actual system is built across when it comes to decentralized and centralized, or something which is out of the hand of any crypto project out there. So when it comes to the actual price variation as such, you do not need to worry because the percentage of liquidity that is actually provided will not be coming off the liquidity pool that's already existing in the centralized or decentralized exchanges. For example, if you take, say you have provided 100,000 JED tokens as liquidity on Uniswap, the Polygon network. However, now you have a centralized exchange XYZ who has come out and wants to list JEDSTAR. Now JEDSTAR will not be pulling out or probably selling tokens from this 100,000 liquidity pool and sending the tokens up to the centralized exchanges, or they wouldn't be using the tokens which are actually held by some of the developers or probably a marketing wallet to go ahead and fund this particular centralized exchange liquidity. What in turn would happen is this additional supply that is actually existing would also have a minting function, and that will be freshly minted according to the liquidity that you want to provide on the centralized exchanges. This minting function is truly revolutionary in my opinion, because it doesn't increase your circulating supply in one shot. It only increases it basis the amount that is needed as and when listings occur. So more listings happen, much faster will the supply be minted, and the circulating supply increase is what we can actually see. However, this is counterbalanced by the price of JED itself, because that remains unaffected irrespective of any centralized exchange or decentralized exchange going ahead and listing JED. Further explain this concept. Say for example, the price of JED is $1 right now, and the amount total circulated over here, let's take the same circulating supply that's on this slide, that's 55 million. Or say for 55 million right now, you have the price of JED at $1. If a new centralized exchange comes up and wants to list the particular token, and imagine you are going to provide 1 million tokens for the liquidity itself. Now this 1 million token will be minted fresh and added to the liquidity pool, which again will be set to a price of $1 itself. So when the listing happens on the centralized exchanges, that particular price will be adjusted using the liquidity pool on the centralized exchanges to ensure that the price is set at $1 itself. So whatever occurs after that will be the price action that we can see based on transaction volume. Pretty cool, right? So taking the launch price at 0.081, and that's around 8 cents. The market cap at launch would be somewhere around 4.5 million, and the fully diluted market cap would be 81 million. Now this again is subject to change based on the time at which the snapshot is taken and what the price of JED would be. So we will have to wait and watch. When it comes to the percentage itself, you can see the centralized exchanges and the decentralized exchanges have 30% of tokens allocated. Again, these are not the total supply allocated at a single shot. These will be minted as and when required. The advisors and investors will have 5% allocated. Team distribution, that's having a 4 years vesting period. That's pretty big in my opinion, because usually I've seen a lot of projects which have a year or 6 months of vesting period. This is like 4 years, such a long term. Only gives you that confidence that JEDSTAR is not here to actually plan for just a year ahead, but many years to come in fact. Now airdrops, again for the new tokens of the existing holders, will be having a 3% allocation. You have the dev and the marketing wallet which will have 6%, and guess what? 51% of the entire supply is allocated towards the liquidity pool rewards, and that's pretty big. For people who want to actually go ahead and provide liquidity, they would be very much benefited from this particular rewards pool. However, I would say just do your due diligence before you get into providing liquidity, because there is a concept of impermanent loss, as well as it depends on many market conditions in terms of the price action. So be a little careful when you're actually going ahead and providing liquidity, guys. Now sustaining and liquidity pairing program, again for JED. For sustenance, you can see this again is 2 different charts. For the JED minted for KEX and DEX, again JED buys, and the utility itself, which again adds up to JED membership. The revenue streams are given as again the same 4: Silverbolt, Agora Marketplace, the JEDSTAR games, JED Tokenomics, all contributing towards the JEDSTAR gaming treasury. Coming to the actual liquidity pairing program, Uniswap charges a 0.3% transaction fee for every swap, and this fee is distributed proportionally to each investor in the liquidity pool. So in one way, you are actually earning by directly providing liquidity on Uniswap itself based on the transactions that are happening on the swap. On the sidelines, you also get a portion of rewards from the rewards pool that JEDSTAR has. How is that actually fed? First would be the JEDSTAR minted, and how much is minted for the rewards pool? That's 10 cents worth of JED that would be allocated daily for every $1 JED pairing. So a bit complex in terms of the calculation, because it's USD $0.1, not 0.1 JED. When it comes to KRED, it is just 32 KRED tokens that are actually minted, but here it would be 10 cents worth of JED that would be minted and sent across to the rewards pool, out of which again 87.5% will be sent to the rewards pool and 12.5% will be sent across to the true burn mechanism. Now the true burn mechanism again is built into the contract, so that will be taking tokens off the total supply itself. Again, you do have the liquidity program lottery tickets, wherein you have the same same split as we saw in the star staking lottery tickets, 50% to the jackpot, 40% to the rewards pool, and 10% to the burn wallet. Now, when it comes to the star staking and liquidity program economics, now the new tokenomics that we can see over here for star staking, for every JED state, 32 KRED will be minted daily and sent to the rewards pool. 12.5% will be removed from the total supply through the true burn mechanism, and 87.5% will be minted into the rewards pool. JED stakers will earn a percentage of the rewards pool based on the percentage within the staking pool itself. Every 30 days, JED stakers will be able to pull out 60% of their rewards, while 40% of these rewards will be locked for 6 months. Now, this is actually pretty good in my opinion, and also something that you need to actually think of if you want to go ahead and be staking JED, because this 30 days duration wherein you can pull out 60% of your rewards will ensure that there is no major price impact on the charts themselves, and also protect the investors. Now, here we can see an actual graph to ensure that there is a long-term sustenance of the staking rewards themselves. The amount of KRED that would be minted for every JED that is staked would be in a reducing basis. The first 6 months you would have somewhere in the 30 to 32 KRED that is minted. That's the period where you could get the maximum rewards. Now, after 6 months, you can see that the reduction of KRED is quite significant. It goes down all the way to 1 or 2 KRED after say 72 months. Now, this is a long-term sustenance plan that's pretty cool in my opinion. There are two things that play over here. First and foremost, the amount of KRED that would be minted and given out as rewards would be maximum between the 1 year duration, I would say, after which there would be a sharp decline. However, in my opinion, not financial advice, this would easily be compensated by the price of KRED itself. Now, even when the minting actually stops or slows down to a very low value, the price of KRED is what would definitely make star staking still enticing. Again, coming down to the liquidity pool program, now Uniswap charges a flat 0.3% transaction fee for every swap, and this fee is distributed proportionally to each investor in the liquidity pool. Depending on the amount of transactions on the DEX, liquidity providers can earn anywhere between 2% to 50% annual interest from Uniswap fees. Again, this totally depends on the transaction volume, so do take this into consideration if you want to become a liquidity provider. 12.5% will be removed again from the total supply through the true burn mechanism, and 87.5% will be minted towards the reward pools. So here, like I mentioned earlier, the minting process is in such a manner that for every $1 of JED that is provided as liquidity pairing, you would have 10 cents worth of JED that is minted. Now here, since it's 10 cents worth of JED, as and when the price of JED increases, the amount of JED tokens themselves minted will be in a reducing trend. The liquidity rewards program was designed to improve the token depth while mitigating impermanent loss, and rewards the liquidity provider. Liquidity providers may remove their liquidity freely, as we will be tracking the pools and readjust the reward proportions accordingly. So make sure that you have two things in mind. First is the transaction volume that plays out to be the major important thing when it comes to actual reward programs that are there from the Uniswap itself, as well as the impermanent loss that would occur when you're providing liquidity. Now let's have a look at the lottery system that is going to come out. Leveraging our casino licenses, we will be able to provide additional rewards to our JED stakers and liquidity providers. JED stakers or liquidity providers will have a chance to win the KRED or JED jackpots, starting at the equivalent of $50,000, which will increase as ticket purchases increase. 40% of lottery tickets purchased will be redistributed amongst all ticket buyers, meaning that regardless win or loss, every lottery participant would receive rewards. This particular point, I love it, guys, because like I said earlier, everyone is a winner over here. Be it big or small, a reward is a reward. 10% of every ticket purchased will be removed from the circulating supply. This is not the actual true burn, but like I said, sending the tokens to a dead wallet. Tickets will also be available for purchase on Agora. Pretty huge. When it comes to the actual overview of the entire star staking and liquidity rewards lottery programs, the lottery ticket cost would be $5 in JED or KRED. That means you will have to have JED or KRED to buy these lottery tickets. No ticket limit per holder, but only 100 tickets can be bought at a time. Paying for one ticket will give users a random 6-digit combination, with each digit being between 0 to 9. You will have to match numbers from the left to win the prizes. The more numbers that match, the bigger the prize pool you will share in. Now, the lottery uses a licensed legal number generator to secure randomness. A lottery draw occurs every Tuesday and Friday at 12 hours UTC time. Winning numbers will be displayed within following 4 hours. After a round is drawn, the tickets with matching numbers are determined and the prizes are awarded. The amount won by each ticket will depend on how many other tickets won in the same prize bracket. To win match numbers, numbers from the left side of your ticket to the winning numbers drawn at the end of a lottery round. Matching even just the first two numbers will win you a small prize. Match more numbers to win a share of the larger prize pool. This is a pretty good lottery mechanism. In fact, I really love it. Instead of certain lotteries that I have seen wherein you need to have the complete sequence of the winning number, you will not be entitled to get a portion of any of the rewards at all. Here, the most number of numbers you actually match from the left side, you would be going ahead and winning a portion respective to that particular prize pool. That's pretty big. Like I said, everyone is a winner, even if you just participate. Now, what's coming up in the next few weeks? You do have the first play and earn mobile game, that's Night Claws. The beta testing is actually going on within the dev team right now and will be opened up to the public pretty soon. I wouldn't lie, I've had a glimpse of it and it's pretty cool. Now, one of the largest esports tournament in Asia is powered by our token KRED. That would happen pretty soon. So let's see what's in store for that. Now, you do have Silver World. Right now, it's just auctions, but later on, the lottery system will also be added up to Silver World, as well as you do have the JED Hold'em Poker also getting added up. And this is just a few. You do have the comic books, NFTs again, which will be coming out, the profile pictures, which they themselves will have certain amount of utility. Now, if you want to win the profile picture, you do have one entire day to go ahead and make a purchase of $100 worth of JED or KRED, and that would entitle you to get a profile picture. Now, pretty cool aspect of the profile picture, like I mentioned on the earlier video, you can actually battle with each other with these profile pictures, and there might be further utilities that are added up for these profile pictures too. Now, the team has been participating in a lot of events lately where they are physically building relationships with many of the blockchain games, the game developers, Web2 games that are existing in the space. So this might be pretty huge, and some big news might flow through in the coming days. This is it for the Litepaper review, guys. Whoa, that was mind-blowing for me. In fact, many things coming out in the next few months for JEDSTAR. Pretty big things happening in the background as well. I am pretty much excited. I'm really happy that JEDSTAR has grown out to be a full-blown ecosystem in terms of the GameFi. It has set a new standard, it has set new expectations, and also brought in a lot of innovation to the crypto space. JEDSTAR is mainly focused first on the gamers, crypto is second. With that strategy, I'm sure that they're bound to win. This is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Meet you in the next one. This is Mr. Aslan signing off, and before I go, please do hit the subscribe button and the like button if you like my content. Both are free of cost. See you in the next one, guys. Take care. Ciao.